The topic which is written over the slide, you can see over here, supervised learning followed by the KNN. KNN means K nearest neighbor. See, let me clear to all once again over here. Just part of the quick review, we can understand. We have the two problems in the supervised learning. One belong to the regression, other belong to the classification. When talking about the regression, the purpose of the regression approach to use to predict something. And what are the methods or models by which we have seen? Those are the linear regression, multiple regression, and polynomial regression, and we have the descent tree as a regression. When we're talking about the classification, we have also covered the logistic regression and we have seen the SVM. So what is mean by the regression classification? We have seen so many times. So I will not discuss again the same thing. When talking about the classification means we are talking about the data which is the form of the category manner. But when talking about the regression, the data will be in form of the continuous nature way. So from this word, we need to understand another approach that is known as the KNN. So KNN means K nearest neighbor. And what is mean by the KNN? What are the features? What is the algorithm? What is the pseudocode? And I will take an example of the numerical example by which you can understand the KNN in simple. And this is the objective of our class. So we will see each and everything properly of the KNN. And that is the more interesting part. So from this point, we are going to start the KNN. That is a K nearest neighbor. See, you can see over the slide, it is mentioned over here. KNN means K nearest neighbor. And basically, it is a supervised machine learning approach or model we know. And the purpose of this model to classify the new data point from the our target class. That could be one or two, or that could be important part. So we have the all the information which are already available, and from the already available information, we need to predict is it is it belong to the class 1 or class 2. So I'm taking here simple example. You can see over here over the screen. I have just plotted some red dotted and I plotted the black dotted. So what does it mean? It means we have the two different classes which belong to the red color dotted or black color dotted, or you can send us in the these are the two different kind of the objects. These two different kinds of objects are already available on the our data set, and that is mean we have the label data. By the unknown data or that is the unlabeled data, we need to understand if we are putting something in the form of the new and that is unknown or unlabeled data, we need to predict is it belong to the class 1 or class 2. That is my point. So from this point, we have the KNN algorithm. So the purpose of the KNN to match the feature of the objects or of the dot or of the things which is already available in form of the label data. And if it is matching with the features, then based on the features, we can say this particular new input data belong to the this class. That could be class 1 or class 2. Now, let me remind you all once again here. We have already discussed logistic regression and supervised support vector machine, following by the binary classification. So for solving this problem, KNN, we also use binary classification based data rather than the multi-classification data. And this binary classification data is also known as the output. It will be formed on the one form. So that is the one level of one output we have. And this is just idea about the KNN. And from this point, we need to understand KNN basically a simplest or we can say simpler algorithm. The purpose of this algorithm to use to classify the data or categorize the data. That is the words we need to keep in mind. From this word, we need to keep in mind another word in the KNN, what the data set we have that is completely followed by the training data. Here, I mean to say that over here, when we use the training data set or in form of the entire data set, so no testing data is required. And that is the beauty of the KNN. And from this point, this is an important feature, but this feature considered as a lazy algorithm. So I will tell you in detail way into the next slide. But the point we need to keep in mind, we can classify the data in proper way, not in the appropriate means in proper way, we can say. So whenever we need to consider some prediction, whenever we need to require some prediction based on the unlabeled data, so the unlabeled data will be matched with some features. What are the features which are matching with the labeled data? Here I'm taking the simple example by which you can understand, just like we have the two groups of the students, just belong to the boy and girls, of course. If a new student is just trying to come inside our class, and if I need to, as a human, I can observe who is boy, who is girl. Okay, no problem. But as a machine, how machine can identify? So based on the features, we can say the machine will identify the based on the feature, this is a boy or this is a girl. That is my point. So same here we have the KNN. So KNN is saying to us based on the similarity feature parameter, our new input data will be matched and put into the appropriate class. That is just idea about the KNN. But KNN is not easy to understand, so that's why I have just taken my slide into simple way for explaining this idea what I mean by the KNN. But here we need to understand that is what is mean by the KNN. KNN means for the simply classification purpose. And the beauty of the KNN to saying to us, you can use the KNN algorithm for the searching purpose. From the machine learning approach, if we need to search so many things from our data set, then KNN is the best example at the time. So KNN is also sometimes known as the searching algorithm. But after searching what the class you belong to, that is required, that is to be determined. So of course, indirectly what we are doing, we are just trying to predict what is the class of the new input data. So that is just my point from the KNN. So I have shared with you right now. So here from this point, you have endowed this introductory part about the KNN. Then you can ask me right now. Student, please tell me right now. Do you have any problem to understand the introductory part about the KNN? Just please and tell me speak fast. Yes,
No
tell
doubt,
me.
sir. No doubt.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, good.
No
So,
doubt.
okay, good. See, so what are the various features of the KNN algorithm we are using? As I told you 2 or 3 times, the KNN is supervised learning approach or model, and that use the label input as I told you previous slide, and we need to set the predict the output as a data point. So that is a new data point. Second point is saying to us, it is one of the simplest machine learning algorithm as I told you, and it is can be easily implemented for the various set of the problem. What is the various set of the problem? Of course, for the classification problem. So the problem we have the classification base. If we try to implement by the logistic, we have the support vector machine. Now we have the KNN. So we need to check which model is better. So KNN just is the simplest algorithm, simplest approach by which we can implement. But is it providing the better accuracy or not? We will discuss this part into the practical session. So now just I'm coming back to the my third point over here. That is a feature of the KNN algorithm. It is mainly based on the feature similarity. The term we need to keep in mind that is the important feature. Features similarity based concept we need to introduce over here in the KNN. So KNN is mostly focused on the feature similarity, as I told you, the comparison between a boy and girl in a classroom. So based on the features, I can divide my student into two groups. That is my point. So what are the features? Okay, this is the parameter that is the gender, but rather than the other factor, I can use just like I'm dividing my two groups of the student based on their CGPA, based on their interest on the subject, or based on their elective subjects, based on their different requirements. So classification can be done on the various parameters. What the parameter you are following, that's your problem. So can check on how similar data point is to neighbor and classify the new data point into the class that is most similar to. But here we need to keep in mind what is mean by the K value. K. What is stand for the K? In the KNN, we know now, and we are known to this part. NN. NN stands for the nearest neighbor. But what does it mean by the K? So K means how many data points are more closer to the its neighbor. So just like example, I'm taking move to here into my previous. Let's see, there is unknown data we have dotted by the blue color. So how this blue dotted data is far from the red dotted data or black dotted data. It means so these are belong to the its neighbor, but how they are far, how they are closer, and that is the point we need to keep in mind under this concept. So K means the total number of the, or we can say the how many data points are more closer. So we need to keep in mind from this point we are going to start our KNN. So this is the feature of the KNN. Okay. And after this point, I just simplified all the feature into a diagram. Then you can understand that is a non-parametric one feature. So you can read out those so many points from the feature of the KNN from the various sources, of course, from the books, internet, and so on. From this point, I let me clear to all once again. That is the point we have written over here, non-parametric. What does it mean by the non-parametric feature of the KNN? See, it is saying to us just like the various kind of the algorithm we have seen in the supervised learning followed by the regression classification. So KNN basically use a non-parametric model, and that means it does not make any assumptions about the data set. So what the data set we have, that is to be used as it is. So we are not dividing our data set into the training or testing data set. So what we are, no assumption can be made because we are not using our training data or testing data set and form the randomness. So definitely no assumption is required over here. But I'm talking about the mathematically. If suppose we have a data set, we need to simplify our data set by the some different approaches. Those are the recognized by the mean scalar approach. Okay, so that is the assumption approach in the mathematically we can do. So if we need to assume, just like our data set can be simplified by the mean or mode or different kind of the mechanism. So this assumption will not be applicable over here. And there is only one reason, because we are we are handling all the data set information in from the training data set rather than the its division. So in this case, we will not use the testing data set. Testing data set we can use, but whenever we need to prediction is applicable. So that is the point we need to keep in mind when the prediction is required. Then regression or regression, we are talking about the regression. At the time, testing can be applicable. But the purpose of this algorithm to classify your new data set. So why you are using testing data set? Because from the from the various list of the data set data point, you need to check which data set you belong to. Just like example, if I need to compare the one value to the n value, so why I divide the n value by the n by 2 or n by 3? Because I need to make the comparison with all the values. So that is my point. So that's why it is known as the non-parametric. So we will not use any kind of the function, any kind of the mod, any kind of the approach to make any assumption in this algorithm. So that is known as the non-parametric. It is simple, of course, it is simplest as I told you in this feature part. And next one, we have the supervised learning algorithm. Of course, it is a part of the supervised learning algorithm. Now, it is a classification regression algorithm. Of course, just like the logistic or support vector machine, if we need to predict something, so that principle to be followed by the regression approach. Okay, regression algorithm, we can say. So that's why it is a part of the regression. Based on the feature similarity point, this is an important point you need to keep in mind, because based on the feature similarity concept, it just match its feature and display or give the detail inform the output which class the new information or the new input data belong to. Next point is very interesting point, that is a lazy algorithm. As I told you so many times, in this case, a training data set will not training data set will use as the entire data set rather than the its randomness values. So due to this laziness, I can say in simple way, due to this it's a kind of the laziness, we can say it is known as it is considered into the lazy algorithm. And see, the point we need to keep in mind, and technically I can speak over here. The lazy algorithm basically saying to us, the lazy algorithm I'm taking right now, I'm describing the definition of the lazy algorithm. So an algorithm which memorize the training data set instead of the its learning descriptive function from the training data. It means we are not dividing our data set into training or testing data. So we are using entire data set rather than the it's some part of the actual data set. So that's why we have the laziness. So this you due to this reason we can say KNN algorithm considered into lazy algorithm. And now, as I told you, it is applicable to both kind of the problem. One is a classification and regression. And this is a 1, 2, 3. See, these are the 6 different important features by which you can say KNN will be easy to learn. And this is could be the important question for the examination purpose or for the your future purpose. And any person can ask you what are the features by which you are using KNN. And the beauty of the KNN is it's a simplest algorithm. Okay, so from the logic relation or support vector machine, it is simplest algorithm. Now you will understand with an example how we can solve this problem. Okay. Now tell me the features part is clear to all. After introductory part, the feature part is clear to all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In doubt now, any doubt, please. No doubt. So should I move to the next slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So next time taking this example to explain my idea, then you will be able to understand. I have already explained to the slot the same example. I just do some amendment over here for the betterment, then you can understand simple way according to your slot. So just I just need to do some amendment over here, then you can understand in simple way. So over the slide, you can see what is the pattern I'm having over here. See, in this example, you can observe over here two classes I'm using right now. One class belong to the square, or other class will belong to the triangle. Now, this is the example we have given. From this point, I'm explaining by the house pointer, then you can understand in simple way. That's why this is the new data. Okay, and this is a new data. This triangle is square, all the old data, we can say. Okay, but from this point, we need to understand how we can identify this new data belong to the square class or the triangle class. This is our question. Can anyone tell me? The student who have any idea, so you want to share your idea right now, just tell me, or else I should explain. Just tell me right now. Anyone who have any idea, or should I explain? Just give me your response. Okay, tell me.
No idea, sir. Please explain.
Okay, good. So here what we have the this point. This is new data, and this is plotted at the random position. So what is my algorithm name? That is a KNN. This algorithm is saying to us in simplest way. Before explaining this algorithm, before explaining the example, first I must take the algorithm, but I'm taking the example for a simplest purpose. Then you can understand. The point we need to keep in mind, as a name is given over a KNN. So K nearest neighbor. So we need to find the nearest neighbor. But how we can find? So that is my point. Here we have the K. So what is the K? K could be any value that could be starting from the 1 to n. Okay, this 1 to n and n means I'm talking about right now. 1 to n could not be 1,000 or 2,000, so on. So n would be the maximum value which is represent the total number of the size of the data points, we can say. Okay, so this is the point we need to keep in mind, because you need to calculate the distance. So here I'm coming back to the my next part over here. That the first statement is saying to over here. First, calculate the distance. Calculate the distance. Calculate the distance from new data point to old data point. But here we have only the one new point, and we have many data points. That could be any data point. So we need to calculate some distance. That is the point we need to keep in mind. If I'm choosing the calculation just like from this point to this point, so first calculation I have done. Okay, so this belong to the different value. I need to calculate this distance. I have calculated. Now I have calculated this distance. Now I'm calculating. See now. Now I have calculated distance from the each and every data point. Now this point is clear.
Yes.
Okay. Now I need to second step is saying to that us you need to choose the case value. Okay. So this case value, just tell me what value I must take for a k. You can take any value right now. Tell me what value I must take for the k. You can define previously, doesn't mean you can define the k value before calculation of the distance, doesn't mean. But let me clear right now what should value I must take. You can take any value that is 1 to n means the total number of data points we have, that should be the point. It should not be exceed more than the data point. So now you can tell me any value right now between 1 to 10. You can just tell me.
Sir, 5.
Oh, 5. So see, if I'm choosing the 5 as according to the student, so what I does mean now, see, first we need to determine first we need to keep the information between the new data point to existing data point. We need to keep the information properly. So this is the minimum distance we can covering. So first we need to start from the minimum distance. This node can be covering by the minimum distance. Can I take? Just tell me, can I take this one? It is having the minimum distance between new data point to the existing data point. Just please tell me right now. Is it possible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this could be the my next point. Just tell me, am I right?
Yes, sir.
This could be next point.
Yes, sir.
And I think so. This one could be, this one could be, and this one could be.
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm choosing the five, so what would be happening over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes are coming. So that is the point we need to keep in mind. If I'm choosing a minimum distance, so from this node, so from this node to these two node, from these two node, any one of the node we have to leave. Okay, so right now I'm considering only the this one node, this node, and this node. These three nodes are the more closer. And if, as according to the student, they're saying to us k value should be 5. So I'm just choosing this one because it is more closer to new data point rather compared by the this one. And I think this is the more closer. Okay, so I'm just marking once again to this data point, this data point, this data point. These are the how many data points we have covered? 1, 2, and 5. Okay, so now tell me, am I right now? Tell me, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
yes, okay, it's a good point. So from these data points, now you need to calculate how many data points which are belong to the class A. Now tell me how many data points which are belong to the class A.
2.
Good. And how many data points belong to the class B?
3.
3.
Super. Super. So as we know in the mathematically, 3 is more than 2. So according to this point, we can say and we can easily determine that the new data point, what we have entered, that is matching with the more and more feature which are relative to the class B. So the new data point will be the class B. So new data point will be the class B. But when you increase the size of the k, that should be that can be the 7, that could be 9 or 11. So that could be depends upon your thing. So what your data size you are increasing, so maybe at the time this class a value can be greater than class b value of the data point. So at the time your data will be changed. So everything depend on the what the value you are picking up. That is my point. So that is the point we need to keep in mind, and this will be considered as a disadvantage, I will tell you. But first we need to understand the how it will work. But still the question we have in our mind, sir, we are talking about the calculation of distance. What are the parameter by which we can calculate distance? That is my point. Distance can be calculated by the various method, as we know into the simple mathematics of uh, in the our 10 standard mathematics, 9 to 10 standard mathematics, as we know the distance between the 2 points, the distance between the 2 points can be calculated by the, suppose we have the 2 points A and B. If I need to calculate distance, so what are those methods? Of course, equivalent distance. If you remember, we have the Manhattan distance. Okay, these are the various formula by which we can calculate the distance. Okay, am I right now? If you're remembering some basic mathematics, tell me. Tell me, is it possible? If we need to calculate the point distance of the 2 points, so what are parameters? Equivalent distance calculation is the formula. Manhattan distance calculator is the formula. Yes, tell me right now. These are the two formula if you're remembering.
Yes, sir, it was there.
Okay, so but for solving our problem in the KNN, what we have to choose ED. ED means equivalent distance. Why? Because this is the very simplest formula by which we can easily know to the value how to get the value and how to get the distance. So that's why the equivalent distance formula is better to optimize your distance from one node to another node. So that is why we have used this point. Now, so the point we need to keep in mind once again, the distance will be calculated by the equivalent distance formula and new point to the old data points. Okay, this is the first step. Second point, you can choose any case value, and that's on this point you need to calculate the, you need to find the minimum distance from the new data point to the old data points, and at the time you can choose the maximum 5 data points. Okay, so this is the my point. Now, is it clear right now? Tell me, this example is clear?
Sir,
How?
means we will calculate equivalent distance for each data point. That
Yes,
are
of
5
course.
km.
Yes, of course, of course. See, you have to calculate this equivalent distance between this node to this node, 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 and this node to this node. Because on that parameter, you can just identify the you need to identify the minimum distance between each and every node. So here you need to calculate distance between each and every node. So that's why this is the point. Suppose we have the 20 old node, and these 20 nodes, suppose we have the class 1 node, we have the 12, and class 2 node, we have the 8. Okay, so if you're putting the new data point, so we need to compare these 20 data points. So we need to calculate the distance between the new data point to the old 20 data points. So we need to calculate the 20 times. That is my point. It doesn't mean right now, it doesn't mean the class 1, class 2. We need to calculate the distance between each and every data point. That's my point. And which distance calculation formula you will use, you have to use equivalent distance. That is the point. But what is equivalent distance? I will tell you, but let me know this idea. This example is clear. How the KNN will work. And the KNN is saying to us, all these nodes are known as the neighbors. And which are the nearest neighbor? Which kind, as according to the k equal to 5, as according to k equal to 5, these are our 5 nearest neighbor, because based on their distance we have found out. Now clear this point?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes.
Okay, so right now just let me I will explain this example. This slide is visible to all right now? Tell me, this slide is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in this point, what we have done, we have calculated the distance from this new node to this node, and this node, and this node. And what we have done, we have calculated 3 times right now. But the point we need to keep in mind, you have to calculate the distance between each and every data point. Okay, so right now I'm defining the k equal to 3. So I will choose, what does it mean? K equal to 3 means we have to choose minimum, or we can say we have to choose minimum distance minimum I can say we have to choose last 3 minimum distance based values from new data point to old data point. Okay, that. So we got the distance. See, we can have the distance this point to this point. We can have the distance from this point to this point, but this is not a minimum distance. So of course, so you can compare. Then you will observe over here which is the bigger or which is the larger. Based on this parameter, you can observe. So when I define the k equal to 3, so 1, 2, 3 nodes are coming. So when I'm selecting k equal to 3, so I found these are the values I'm getting over here. The class A belong to the 2 data points, and class 1 belong to the 1 data point. So of course, new node will be the A, that's the class A. But from when I changing it for class 5, k equal to 5 as according to the student, this point we have seen. So according to a student, if I'm choosing the k equal to 5, so definitely what I'm getting the new node that is belong to the class B. So based on this k values, what does it mean? Based on this value, the accuracy of the model may change. That is my point. So what is the beauty of the k? Because based on the k, you need to have this point. Here we have the question over here. Suppose I'm choosing k equal to 3. I'm choosing k equal to 3, 4, 5, and so I'm choosing, no problem. But suppose I'm choosing k equal to 3, I'm getting the accuracy 92%. I'm choosing k equal to 5, I'm getting the accuracy 88%. I'm choosing k equal to 7, I'm getting the accuracy 83%, suppose. So after solving this problem, I found that the k value, which is a k, what is the k value? which provide the optimum solution, that we have the, or we provide the better solution, we can say, that is the k value will be 5 when we are getting the accuracy 88. So this would be the best at the time, but fortunately we found that k is equal to 3 is the best option. If I'm writing this one 82, so from this point I can easily determine k is equal to 5, k's value will be 5 when we have the better accuracy compared by the other one. So that is your responsibility, how many times value you are picking. So you can choose maximum value, depend upon your total number of the data points, but rather than, it is a better idea for simplification. I just suggest to all those students, better idea, you must always use, for the practically you must always use 1 to 18 19 value, that is sufficient value for comparison purpose. When you have any large data set, don't worry, when you have a large data set, you just start your calculation from 1 to 18, so by changing the value from this updating value of the k value 1 to 18, then you need to calculate the accuracy, and definitely within this value you can easily determine what is the value of the k where you are getting the accuracy, because you need to determine. So these are the sufficient value by which we can get. Suppose we have the 1,000 data sets, so we will not calculate the 1 to 1,000. Why you are wasting your time? So it is better idea to within the 20 values we can easily get it, because I have observed from the so many programs, I have been observed from the very realistic application. Then I found when I changing the value k value 1 to 20, so I'm getting the my result near about the accurate way as I expected. So it is my suggestion, but if you want to update k value 1 to 1,000 and depend on the total number of data you can use, you are free to use. Okay, so because in the Python programming, in the our machine learning model, we are not bound to do anything. Okay, we can update as our desired, but I suggest only, because you are just doing your you are just changing its value again, and so why you're wasting your time? So it's a better idea to, you can measure 1 to k 1 to 18. This is a standard value for the k. And what is the k? K that determine the how many data points which are more closer to your that point. So that is the max point. So from the 7 value we are choosing. So this is an example where we have the kth value was the 7. So from this point you can easily observe now this new data point belong to the class B. When I just use 3, when I found the this data point belong to class B. When I just update by the k is equal to 5, so I found this belong to the class B. So after changing the value 3, 5, and 7, we are finding that there are two kth value. We are finding over that new data point belong to the B. So definitely majority is going for the B. So definitely we are getting the result close to the this point. So that is a new data point will be the of course B, but we need to prove by the some calculating the accuracy or to measure the performance by changing the kth value. So it's up to you, and of course in the R program, in the next class of course you will see the demonstration of the program where you can find the how we are changing the value and how we are getting the different accuracy. So you will see this one. Right now, tell me any doubt over here. This is a functionality as I explained how to solve the problem. Now this problem is clear. Okay, now tell me. Yes, tell me any doubt right now.
No doubt, sir.
Okay, so normal term it is known as a result. In general terms, we have used this is the output, but the machine learning this is recognized as a label, because this is the point only. See, only the naming convention. So I'm just mentioning over here the label. So output will be represented by the label. So that is it. Okay. After understanding this point, now let me explain how to calculate the equivalent distance values. Suppose P1 is a new data point or P2 is the old data point. Okay, you can reverse this part. P2 is a new data point or P1 is old data point. Is up to you. Suppose I'm just assuming right now this is a new data point and P1 is a old data. Okay. So I need to calculate distance between these two data points. So where we have so many methods, but I'm choosing only the equivalent distance because it provides the better result and it has the very simplest calculation. So from this point, if I try to calculate the equivalent distance, then how to calculate? See, what are the points of the P1 and P2? As we note it down, the P1 just belongs to the P1, 4 and P2 belongs to the 5, 1, as it is written over here. From this point, if I need to calculate the equivalent distance, then how I can solve this problem? It is the simplest problem. See, 5 minus 1 whole square plus 4 minus 1 whole square. That is my point. So, okay. So 5 minus 1 whole square plus 4 minus 1 whole square. If I'm trying to solve this problem, so what the value I'm getting over here? See, 4 square plus 3 square. See, if I'm writing in the negative, doesn't mean. So if suppose I'm doing the 1 minus 5, so I will get the square of the minus 4. So if I'm calculating the minus 4 square, so definitely the value will be in form of the positive. So it doesn't mean what part you are getting over here for explaining purpose doesn't mean. So now next, if I try to solve this problem like this one, so that would be the 16 plus 9. Simple mathematics. Internally, it belongs to the root 25, and of course, the value of the root 25 will be the 5. This would be our distance from the one node to another node, and that is new node to the old point. So this simplest formula by which we can calculate the distance, and that is my point. Now this point is clear. How to calculate the distance by using the equivalent distance. Now tell me any doubt right now. Please tell me. Yes, tell me any doubt to calculate the equivalent distance.
No, sir.
Okay, good.
No, sir.
Super. Now it's time to see the Kenan algorithm. So that's why I've explained my idea with the help of the example. So when you try to understand this algorithm of the Kenan, within 2 minutes you will be able to understand what are the statements are written. Then you can easily understand. Now load the data. Okay, so load the data set, and that is belong to the training data set. So I can write this data set means I'm talking about the load the data set, or we have the training data set because we use a training data set as an entire data set. And next step is saying to us initialize k value to your chosen number of the new. So you can choose any values. Okay, so that could be from 1 to n, and this n means total size of data points. So that is the maximum. You can't take the more than you can take the n value more than the total size of the data point. So that is the point we need to keep in mind. Suppose we have the 20 record or 20 values, then you can't take the more than 20 values. You can take the equal value or less than value. So for each data points in the data set, first what we need to calculate distance, and this distance will be represented by the equivalent distance between the new data point and the existing data points from the data set, and add the distance and index the data point to order collection. So the value we're getting from the distance value, we need to keep into some values or variables, we can say in the math programming way. We can store the value into the array manner, just like example I can explain. And now after the storing value, I need to sort the value. And why sorting values? Because minimum value will be on the top and maximum value will be on the top. So why I'm doing the sorting? Because minimum value will be held by the top position. That is, we can say the smallest. Okay, that means you can say smallest, and maximum value or maximum distance will be at the bottom side. Okay, so if I'm defining, or if I've defined k equal to 5, suppose that the top 5 value I will choose. That is the point you need to keep in mind. If I'm just defining the k equal to 5, the top 5 value I will choose, and from the top 5 value I need to determine the is it belong to the class 1 or class. But before that, let me point this point right now. Pick the first k entry means I'm talking about right now the first top 5 entries, first 6 values, 7 value. It depends on your k, total number of k, what you have defined. Okay. And now get the labels of the selected entries. Get the labels mean get the output of the selected entries. And after that, you need to determine if regression you are having, then return the means of the k level. So by using the total number of the output we have based on that parameter, we can calculate the mean and we can determine the prediction value. But suppose based on this point, we need to classify our data in proper way. So you can choose the mode of the k level. So from this point, we can easily determine. But I have another idea by which we can determine. But this mean and mode is applicable when we have the huge size of the data set. But when we have the small amount data set, so as a human, we can easily predict. So no problem about that part. But we need to keep in mind as a mathematically, we need to keep in mind, we need to calculate the classification or regression. We need to calculate the classification regression by using the mean and mode based upon your requirement. So these 2 points or 7-8 points determining that this KNN algorithm, of course, will be supported by the both approaches. One is classification or regression. That is the point we need to keep in mind. Right now, this is the idea about the KNN algorithm. From this point, you have any doubt? Okay. Till now, any doubt? Please tell me right now. Just tell me any doubt over here. Yes, any doubt on the KNN algorithm? Please, you can take your time
Yes,
to.
sir. Sir, in the 7th line, we are saying return the mean of the k labels. What it means?
Yes. See, if regression we are choosing, so it returns the mean of the k level. So what does it mean? The total number of the k levels we have decided. So it means total top 5. So what the value which is to be represented by the top 5 levels, that is to be represented by the, it means if we are having the value 0, 1 form, 0 and 1. I will demonstrate. Don't worry, I will demonstrate. Okay.
Sir, will it give like we have 2 labels of class A and 3 labels of class B? Then 2 plus 3 divided by 2 means about 2.5.
Yes, you can say that is regression. That is regression. But in this point, in this point, you are predicting only. But that is not a simplest idea. Why? Because the value of our data points, we are choosing the data values from our 0-1 form or classification. So I will demonstrate. Don't worry. Okay, I have the slide where I have the explanation. Don't worry. Okay. But other than these points or this mean and mode, I will tell you the step number 1, 2, 6. Any doubt right now? Please tell me. What we have discussed, that is summary only. What we have discussed so far, that is summary of our in this slide we have, that is KNN. Now tell me any doubt over here.
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay. So right now I am going to an example over here, and I hope you will be able to understand simplest way. So right in the next slide we have the example, that is let us understand the KNN algorithm in more detail. Okay, so for understanding the KNN algorithm, I have a numerical over here, because with the numerical you can easily understand. Suppose we have a height and weight and its corresponding t-shirt size of the several customers. So what are the values? What are the columns we have? We have the height column, we have the weight column, and we have the t-shirt size. These are 3 important columns we have, and these are known as the attributes of a data points. So we can say we have the 3 different attributes, and from these attributes we need to predict which are the, we need to identify which are the independent variable or which are the dependent variable. So from this point you can easily understand and how can identify the height and weight as a independent variable. Yes, of course, based on the question. The question is not ended so far. The question, we are going to the next part of the question. That is, your task is to predict the t-shirt. It means if we are taking t-shirt size, that is our dependent variable. Why? Because we need to predict t-shirt size, so that would be the dependent variable. Okay. So customer VLAN we have, and from the customer VLAN is trying to look the t-shirt size based on his requirement or his features. So what is the feature of the VLAN? So we have the various feature over here, but we need to predict something over here. So what is the feature that is to be look for? The VLAN is looking for the height and weight. So these are the 2 features. One is a 161 centimeter, that is the height, and weight is a 61. So these are the 2 features by which we need to predict our t-shirt size. So this is also known as the independent variable. You can say IB means independent variable, and this is dependent variable. From this point we can move ahead, but let me know the question is clear to all. What is the problem and what is the thing we need to look into, and what is the data set I will demonstrate. But before that, let me know the problem is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, any the student who is unable to understand the problem, so just let me know right now. Is clear? Okay, problem is clear. Just please tell me right now the problem is clear. we have a data set from the features, or we
Yes,
have
sir.
the attributes. We have the height, weight, and t-shirt size. So from this point, we need to understand what is the t-shirt size of the customer name, that is a Viren, and he has a feature that is 161 centimeter height, and his weight is 61. Okay, this is an example. Now, this data set we have. Is it visible to all the data set values, height and weight?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can observe over here the height and weight are the independent variables and t-shirt size is the dependent variables, and this dependent variable contains some information from the categorical manner. So that can be identified by here binary classification. So you can observe over here we have only the two values m and l. We don't have any other values other than the m and l. So from this parameter you can say this m and l means values. It means we have the binary values. So binary classification based problem we are talking about right now. So now we have our data which belong to the binary classification based information m and l. So now this is the data set. I have written my data set into this way. Then you can understand the whole problem in simple way. So what is the next responsibility after getting the each and everything here? What is the next responsibility? We need to calculate the distance. Okay. Right now, I'm not talking about the k value. Okay, that is the later on we will choose. If you want to choose the k value first, it's up to you. But so first we need to calculate the distance, because distance calculation is a more important work. So what I'm doing right now, I'm calculating the distance right now over here. So I'm just calculating the distance over here. And this distance will be our equivalent distance. So I can write like this one. I can write like this one. I can write like this one. Okay. Now this one, this would be, and that would be the last. The still question we have in our mind, what is the parameter by which we can calculate the distance? So of course, what is our formula of the equivalent distance? That is the distance. So what is the new data? As according to the question, new data belong to the, as I told you into the previous slide, new data was the customer Biren is looking for the t-shirt size, and he has a feature that is the 161 centimeter height and 61 is the weight of Biren. So this is the first data point. Just keep in mind, this is the first data point. This is the existing data point. So I need to compare, I need to calculate the distance from this data set. So how I can, okay, how I can it, that is the most important point. So what is the formula as we have seen? So I need to calculate the equivalent distance. So I can write in simple way. See, I can write 161 minus 158 square plus what is the next feature? We have the next feature 61 minus 58. Okay, if you want to write the 158 minus 161 whole square and plus 58 minus 161, so 58 minus 61 square, it doesn't mean, because the value of the square will be in the positives, it doesn't mean. Next, I'm just calculating this part, so I will get the value 3 square. I can write like this one directly, and plus next we have the 3 square, of course. The total value would be over here. I'm writing directly over here. That would be the 18. Right now, I'm using my mobile to calculate this value. So of course, the value would be the 4.24. Okay, you can check it. I have calculated over my mobile. So this value, that is the 4.24 value, will be right here. Will be written over here like this one. So this value we need to calculate. We need to calculate this value. Okay, so this value, all these value we need to calculate it. After this point, we need to calculate our values. Okay. So this is the value. We got this value, and we can this one. Now, is it clear to all what the value we are getting? Now tell me.
Yes, sir.
Any other student who have a doubt to know this part, how we are getting this value? I can calculate any other value, so you can assume. Okay, so you can calculate any other values and find the its distance from this node, this data point to the new data point. So you can write the value in form the distance part and distance column. Is it clear? Tell me, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now what I have done, I have the entire solution over here in front of me. Okay, so I'm explaining over here, and so this is already solved. So according to you, I just do some amendment over here, then you can easily understand. Okay. Hey students, the same problem we have over here from the MX Excel, I just calculate over here, and now we got the first value as 4.2. You can observe over here. See, we got the first value 4.24. So we got the value in one decimal 4.2. Okay. For the other slot, I have calculated over here. So we have the same values. Okay. So we got this value and we have written all this value. Now, from this point, you can observe over here. If I'm just draw this point, what is the minimum value from the distance? You can opt over here. That is the 1.4. So this is the minimum value. Okay. Now tell me, is it visible to all? This is the minimum value 1.4. You can see from the first to top to bottom what is the minimum value we are having. That is, you can observe over here. 1.4 is the minimum value.
Yes, sir.
Now second value, that is more than the 1.4. We have this one 2.0. Next we have the 2.2, so we can consider this one, or in the fourth case, if you want to write this, would be the fourth one, so you can choose, no problem. Okay, 2.2 we are getting this one. At the last we have the its upper value, that is the 2.2. So this is the our sorted order collection of the data. I can mark into the red circle or red point. You can see this is our this is the known as the our not sorted. This is the known as the order. This is known as our yes. This is known as our ordered collection. Not in sorted, but the order collection we have in the form of the sorted collection of the minimum distances. Okay, minimum distances. But what we have over here, we have selected the k equal to 5. So that's why I have written the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, if you're choosing the k equal to 7, so I need to move to the value more than the 3.2. So what is the next value more than 3.2? We have the 3.6. So these 1, 2, 3 other nodes we have to select it. Then we have to move to the next part. If you want to choose a k equal to 3, so what are the value we need to pick? 1.4, 2.0, and 2.2. So this would be considered as our that part. From this point, I just mentioned the highlighted way. So if you need to calculate a regression means if you want to allow the regression, just let me know right now. If you want to allow the regression over here, why regression? As my data point is saying to over here, my algorithm saying here, if you need to allow the K-NN regression, then what you need to calculate the mean. Okay. If you remember the algorithm. So if you remember the algorithm, if regression, then return the mean of the K levels. So what are the K levels? K levels is K output. So these output are these two values. So what is the mean? So mean of the K levels means is saying to us that is the MMML. So we need to calculate the mean of the MMML. So 4 times M we have. So just let me know once again how many times M we have. We have the 4 times M value and 1 time L value. So this value M and L you need to transform to 0, 1 form. Then you will calculate the mean and then you can assume what would be your value. That is a formula. Okay. If you need to use a classification, then if you need to use the classification, then you need to calculate the mode of the k level. So these are two ways by which we can classify it. But see, sometimes it is better for the when we have the huge amount of the data set. So it will internally like this one. But when we have the small amount data set, then we can easily determine. You can observe over here how many times m we have the 4 times. How many times l we have, that is a 1. M and l, what is the t side. So very practically you can observe over here, as we have seen our example, 4 is greater than 1. So it means m is greater than l. So new input data that we are expecting, that is a 161 and 61, that belong to the m. Okay, so that belong to the m. So we found the t-shirt size, that should be m. This will be applicable when we have the huge amount of data sets, then you can choose, no problem at that time. But here we have the small amount of data sets, so no need to require, we need to just compare its value. And when we have the huge amount of data set, then we need to transform this m and l value into the 0-1 format. Okay, because the Python programming, the value should be represented by the numerical way for the computation purpose. So the string value will not be computed in easy way. So that is the time we have the standard scalar class, standard scalar method by which we can do. That is a method. So right now in the theoretical, for understanding theoretical part, we are not using anything. But how to solve this problem, that is the point we need to keep in mind for the future purpose. Regression, when you're trying to find the regression problem, then mean will be applicable, and for the classification mode will be there. So here we are not bothered about all those concepts, but we need to keep in mind we have the small amount data set where we can easily find out m, the total number of size of the m is bigger than the l. So definitely the value of the m, that is 4, of course it is bigger, and we can get it. So here this point you can easily trace out this point. Right now, tell me any doubt for understanding this problem.
Sir, please explain the mean thing here.
Mean.
Yes, sir.
See, mean is saying to no. See, we have to calculate distance only. What are the values of the k levels? So how many k levels you are having? K levels means total 5 level you are having. So your output of the t size will be represented by the m, 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 l. So I need to calculate the mean of the m plus m plus m plus l. That is my point. So how you can calculate it? So this 5 times. Okay. So this m will be transformed into the 0-1 format. So that is my point. So you need to transform, and that is to be done by the programming. So you can transform this part by the standard scalar class in the Python programming we have, by which you can do standard scalar, by which you can do. And if you need to calculate the mode, so from these 4 times m and l, you need to calculate the mode. You need to find the mode, but it is not easy to find the mode. So how you can find the mode of the 5 times m, 4 times m and l and mean? Just tell me. So at the time you need to define the m belong to the, suppose m belong to the 0 and l belong to the 1. So at the time you can understand this one. Or m belong to the 1 or l belong to 0. So it's up to you how you define. Yes, now tell me.
Yes, sir. Now, please.
But in this, but what is the problem over here? Suppose you are choosing m as a 0 or l as a 1, and now you are getting the output. So your output may vary. So at the time, this is not a good justifiable answer right now. So that's why I was practical internally how the algorithm will assume the thing that is to be done by the mean and mode open. So that's why this is the beauty of the KNN algorithms I have explained. But when I just explain when I need to explain the pseudo code, then I just remove those parts because this algorithm is work finally when we have the huge amount data set, and this is not good for the when we have the small amount data set, because our prediction may wrong, as we are expecting that t-shirt size should be L, suppose, but we are getting the value that is M. So prediction we are getting very poor, and that is the biggest drawback. I will tell you. And why? Because we are not building our model by the randomness value, some amount of the data set. We are building our model of the entire data set, so it takes more time for the computation purpose. This is the biggest drawback. Okay, that part we have seen. See, next part we have over here the poor classification we can have. See, If you're changing the any case value, definitely our output will be changed. Suppose I got the value of the m at the 5, no problem. But I'm changing the case value 5 to 7, then I'm getting the another value that is l. So what does it mean? So my model is not properly classified because it depends on the total number of the data points what I need as a nearest neighbor. That is my point. So this is not a good point. This is not justified. So it has a drawback, but it is an advantage it is having by the it is simplest algorithm. It is a simplest algorithm for the classification. Doesn't mean it is the best and simplest algorithm. But when talking about the its classification, it is very poor. So when talking about the SVM and KNN, I suggest you must use the support vector machine. Okay, SVM is better than the KNN.
Yes,
But
sir, for the classification.
yes, of course, for the classification. But at the time, talking about the logistic regression is also having own advantage part. So in the next class or whenever I'll show the practical, then I will show the difference between the logistic regression SVM and K means. Sorry, KNN. Then you need to check what is the accuracy you are getting. But everything depends on the total number of the values, total number of the data set based on the problem. So we can't say this model is better for this model. We need to apply the model on the specific problem, and we need to determine this model is providing the better result than the other model. So that's why this is a good exercise when try to solve any problem by taking any model. Then you need to check what is the accuracy you are getting. So based on your accuracy percentage, you can say this model is better for this problem. This is like example of the choosing a car. Okay, I have the 4 or 5 car, but I need to go to the Ferrari. Why? Because it is good for me. And if we have so many accessories, we have so many facilities in the Ferrari car. But fortunately, the petrol we are not easily find at any any fuel station. That is the biggest problem. So each and every model in the machine learning has its own disadvantage advantage part. So we are looking for only the model. What are the various model in the supervised learning? And if you try to build our model by the various thing or various data set, so what is the expected output we are getting? So that is the point we need to keep in mind. So as a learner, we are trying to understand the various model in the machine learning. So this is again a classification problem based model, and that is known as the KNN. And in that case, we need to choose the nearest neighbor, and what the parameter we are choosing based on the k value, and that is my point. Okay, so now how we are getting the our prediction of the billionth customer, that is we have the m, so that size would be the m because we have the value 4. This was my point. Okay, now is it clear to understand this example right now? Tell me, is it clear?
Sir, this
Yes,
question
sir.
is okay. Sir, but we have the non-numerical data, sir. What will happen?
When we have the non-numerical data, so at it times no problem. So how many times 0 and how many times 1 is belong to, then we need to calculate how many times 0 is coming, how many times 1 is coming. See, m will be represented. So m will be represented by the 0. Suppose I am represented by the 0. So this will be 0, this will be 0, and this will be 0 and 1. So now how many times 0 coming? 4 times.
4
One
times.
is one is coming 1 time. So what is the value which belong to the which is more than which is the greater value? So of course 4 is greater than the 1, so that belongs to the 0. So definitely the prediction that we are looking for the 0, and this 0 could be any value. If I'm transforming this m into 0, so this belongs to the m as well. So it's up to you. See, it's up to you how you're representing. So to transform this non-numerical data value into the numerical data, so we have a standard scatter class by which we can. That is the beauty of the thing we can do. See,
No, sir.
Python is
I want to say that if we don't have the height and weight numerical data, we have the passenger
see,
name, passenger class, like so how can we drive the distance
see,
between?
passenger. See, at the time you need to choose the appropriate features. See, features will not be, so the passenger name can't be the feature name. That is my point. So your name can't be any time the feature name. Your what is the features on which I can identify? See, what are your feature? Maybe your height, maybe your yes, that could be part that is city, which city you belong to. So we need to choose some different parameter by which we can see at the time. See, at the time height and at the time you need to transform that value into the some value. So if you have the height, the city, and different kinds of thing, so we need to transform city or the thing into the different kind of the label, different kind of the value 0, 1, 2, 3. and that is known as the multi-classification. We need to transform. That is possible by the structured scalar class. That is possible. See, that's why the for learning purpose, we will always choose the simplest example to understand what is the functionality of the search algorithm. But when try to implement the same problem, we can easily. But when we have any problem that is following by the different kind of the format, then what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is to transform that data to another format so machine can understand properly. Because in array, suppose I'm taking simple example on the Python. So in array, your data, your entire value must be numerical, because if you try to apply the numerical function, then at the time the value that should be from the numerical way. But you're trying to apply the numerical operation or any numerical based method on the non-numerical data. So how it will be possible? So again you will get an error, and that is your responsibility. You need to transform that data into the another format, and that is a good exercise. See, this exercise is known as the preparing the data set, and you are not preparing data set properly, so you will get the prediction or your assumption will be wrong always. That is your responsibility. So preparing data set is not a 1 day 2 day task. It takes lots of time, lot of the times to understand the concept, and that is known as the data analysis. So in the Python programming, we're trying to understand the concept that is data analysis. So that data analysis concept is saying to us how to analyze the data when we have a different kind of the format. See, again, this would be your different course. At the time, we need to learn the Python basic and plus advanced Python, where we have an important topic, data analysis. That, but here we are understanding the machine learning. So that's why I'm taking those example by which we can understand the machine learning models properly. So here I'm not explaining the Python programming, I'm not explaining the other thing, but that is your responsibility. But whenever we have any problems, so we will discuss. That's why in between I'm giving the some idea. You can transform that non-numerical value to the numerical value by the standard scalar class. No problem. Okay, and the next class I will demonstrate how to solve. Okay, yes, I will take the some chunk part of the course by which I will explain. No problem. It's my promise. Okay, now tell me. So this numerical is clear about the KNN?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, good. So see, I have explained this idea with the envelope slot. So we have the slide. This is a step I'm taking the from starting way. So this is the equilibrium equations formula we have done. So no need to explain. We have calculated all these values. So we are not moving this part. We need to choose a k value. You can choose any k value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is the point. But here I have the question over here right now. Suppose I'm choosing k value 6. Okay, we can choose any value. I can choose any value, no problem. K 1 to n, 1 to n. So I'm choosing k value as 6, and now the listen, please carefully. You will need to listen. Suppose I'm getting m value, we are giving the 3 times, and l value we are giving 3 times. At a time, what you will do? What you will do? So which t-shirt size you will suggest? This is my question to all the students right now. When I'm choosing the k value 6 and I'm getting the m value, that is we have the 3 times we are having, and l value we are getting the 3 times. At a time, what t-shirt size you will choose? This is my question. Yes, can anyone tell me what t-shirt size you will choose? Just tell me, students, right now.
Sir, please repeat the question.
My
Yes,
question
yes.
is saying, yes, my question is saying here, in this example, we have chosen k value that is a 5. Okay, that is k equal to 5. From this point, we know to the m is coming 4 times and l is coming 1 time. So from this point, we can easily determine that is our new input data as per our problem matching with the m, because m is greater than the l. So we can say it's matching with our more and more feature with the m. So we have the t-shirt size m. This is the answer. But here I am just choosing the k value 6 rather than the 5. And we are getting the above. Suppose this example only. Suppose I am getting the value m equal to 3 and l equal to 3. It means the m is coming 3 times and l is coming 3 times. It means at a time, what is the problem? So how you can say the t-shirt size will be the L or t-shirt size will be the M, because both value we are having the same at a time. Now, can anyone tell me what is the parameter? What is the thing we can say? Just tell me right now. Speak.
Sir, in that condition, we will add the distances. Whatever will be big, we will consider.
No. So see, each and everything we have done already. Equivalent distance we have calculated. We have this rank we have given. So we have the rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the time we are getting the 3 times M, and t-shirt size we are representing 3 times M and 3 times L. At the time, what we need to do?
We will choose the one which have less equidistant distance.
For this point, I can suggest you a very tricky answer over here. See, I have been observed into so many programs. So I suggest to always choose odd values of the k. Always choose the odd value of the k. See, k value you must choose. It is my suggestion only. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, and 13, and so on so on. So why? Because suppose in case when we are choosing the case value, and in the case value, what we have, some data points are common, some data point we are getting the common value of the same data point. At a time, at least we can distinguish. We can distinguish at least in the odd case. But in the even case, there may be some case, then at a time it is not easy to identify. Okay, in the case of the numerical, we are not easily identified. But by the function or by the Python library, it automatically gives the answer. But that is my point. Are we getting the correct answer or not? So that is my point. Answer we will get it, but that is the correct answer or not. So it is better idea to always choose the case value in the odd way. That's tricky answer I think, because I have been worked with so many programs the KNN, so I found always they suggested to choose only the odd value. So this is my idea. But if you want to choose the k value equal to 6, definitely it will work. We will get something. But in there will be some case where the tie will be there. So how we can resolve this problem? So it's a better idea to choose the k value. See, at this point, the accuracy will not be better. So it is better idea to choose the odd value. So definitely we can predict something over here. For the practically, I can show you. But for the mathematically, or for solving any problem on the examination, then you are required to choose the k value as a odd. This is my suggestion only. Okay, now this point is clear. Yes, tell me right
Yes,
now.
Yes.
Okay, so always just this is my suggestion only. This is my recommendation only. But we can choose. Okay, we can choose a even number as well. But I suggest to, for the practical purpose, always choose this kind of the value. So at least we can differentiate. We can get the appropriate value in terms of the accuracy. Now, so this is the numerical idea we have given, and this is summary of this problem. You can observe over here. See, 4 times M we are getting. So M belongs to the blue dotted, and the L is that is a orange color dotted we have over here, and this yellow belongs to new data, and we are getting the new distance from each and every one. But we found the minimum distance that belongs to the 5 nodes. So these are the 5 nodes: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have calculated the distance. We found these are the closest, or these are the nearest neighbor. And from this nearest neighbor, we need to predict easily the M belong to the 4 times. It means 4 node is touching to the its nearest neighbor, and only the one data point which are touching to S as a nearest neighbor. So finally, we got the answer. You can observe over here. T-shirt size will be M. So this is just idea. There's summary example. There's summary part. Okay. So this diagram is. I think this diagram is clear the entire thing. What I need to explain. Is it clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay, good. See, so as I told you, in the algorithm we have the regression and classification, mean and mode. So, but I removed those part. Here we have the simplest pseudocode, and this is the best pseudocode for the KNN algorithm. And KNN algorithm we have discussed in detailed manner with an example. This is another example, so no need to explain over here. I'm leaving why? Because I'm skipping this all this slide unnecessarily. We need to explain because we have already discussed our concept properly. So we have the same example as you can observe over here. We need to focus on the pros and cons. It's an important point we need to keep in mind. Easy to use as a pros, of course, quick calculation time. Equivalent distance calculation will be very easy, as I told you. and it does not make any assumption about the data, because the training data, we have the actual data and training data will be equal. But when talking about the cons, as I'm speaking so many times, and I'm speaking and I have spoken so many times, accuracy depend on the quality of data. It means what is the quality of data you are using in the data set, and what is the value of the k. So if I'm choosing the 5, 7, 9, 11, if I'm choosing 1, so definitely accuracy I can get the 100%. But I'm choosing the accuracy, I'm k value until 11, 13, so maybe I can get the accuracy 70%. So it depends on the data as well as the k value. And must find an optimal k value, so number of the nearest neighbor. So you need to understand this point from this point. As I told you,
Sir, I have a doubt in the count.
yes, now tell me. Yes, now tell me.
Sir, please move to that slide.
Con,
The first point in the count.
cons. We're talking about the cons. Accuracy depends on the quality of data. Am I right?
Yes, sir. How it will be count?
See, accuracy depend on the quality of data. It means suppose we have the data which is not quality data. It means it does not belong to the selection of the good features. Suppose as a student saying to us, we are choosing the different features. So I'm choosing only the height. I'm not choosing the weight. So at the time the accuracy may differ from the my weight. So I'm choosing only height. Based on this height, I need to predict the what is the size of the t-shirt. So this could be better or this could not be better. So depend on the choosing the features, depend on the choosing the independent variables. What the features, what the independent variable I'm choosing for the calculating the my prediction, and based on this prediction, I need to calculate the accuracy. So definitely it would be different. Now that is my point. Suppose you have the good height, but you have you are very thin person. So t-shirt size is sufficient to you rather than the M size. That is my point. But suppose a person who has very less height, but he is very fatty. So of course the L size is not sufficient. I recommend it to him or her as a M size or more than M size. So you see, depend on your data. So what data you have or what the data you are choosing for getting the accuracy, that could be the concept. And few things depend on the its kth value. So I will demonstrate this part. If you're changing the kth value, so the accuracy will be changed automatically. I will demonstrate. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
And from this point, you need to choose the optimal kth value. So I mean to say that suppose you are choosing the kth value 7, and you are getting the accuracy 79%, and you are chasing the kth value 5, the accuracy 83%. Now again, I've changed kth value as a 9, suppose, and I'm getting the accuracy 92%, and I'm changing the kth value as a 3. I'm getting accuracy 100%. Okay, so at the time this would be your optimum k, but that is very less. That is very less value. But at the time we are getting the accuracy 100%, so we will recommend it this k value will be the 3, at which we are getting accuracy 100%. Okay, so this would be your optimal. And we have the poor at the classify the data point at the boundary where we can classify the one way or the another. And that is my point that you can understand where we have the boundary point. You can understand by this example. Suppose at the boundary point, we are having the data points where three data points belong to the M class, and 3 data points belong to the L class. Suppose it could be happen if I'm choosing the k value as a 6. So at the time, it is not easy to classify the data properly. So this is the poor algorithm at the time. That was my point. That's why I've already explained this concept. I've already explained this concept here, and that is a drawback. Okay, so at this point, we are not easily predict. We are not easily classify our data. It belongs to the M class or L class. Okay. So student, now this is just idea. I have explained with all the people or the student here.
So we have next class.
Yes, I know.